Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to another Anime Talk, the show where we talk about why are you so oblivious to things sometimes, main characters for harem anime. Now, today, if you haven't realized it and you haven't looked at the title, today we're going to be talking about why are harem leads so stupid? Why? There must be a reason, right? Like, perfect example, we have Ichika over here from Infinite Stratos. Why is he so stupid? Now, there are many reasons why main characters for harems are stupid. And yeah, folks, there actually is a legitimate reason. Like a lot of people say that that's just the way they're written. And well, of course, it is the way they're written. You know, the actual author has to create that character. But there is a method to the madness. Harems in general, I've talked about this before, and I won't go into too much detail. But the concept is a harem will have a main character get surrounded by several women, and in the course of the show, all the girls like him, but him being oblivious, he either does not choose one, he either gets with all of them, or he kind of, maybe gets with one or two, but it's like, I don't know what to do with these. I don't know. No, perfect example, and the one we're going to center around our main concept today is Infinite Stratos, which has Ichigo, who is probably the dumbest main character I've seen in a long time in harem animes. This is why it's perfect for the kind of subject material we have, where he's surrounded by a whole school, essentially, of girls, including several main girls who really do love him and treat him so well, and they try to get with him every chance they get. But why is he stupid? Why? Why? The background story for Ichika is that he was raised by his sister to be a kind of tougher guy, not to be per se um, overly flirtatious, and more so it seems like he almost has a siscon approach where he's like, I like my sister, not in the way of being creepy, just being in the way of the weird relationship that you see sometimes appear in anime, which doesn't make sense, where the brother and sister are like really close to one another. It's like, from what I hear, because I'm an only child, from what I hear from my friends though, their brothers and sisters aren't that close. They're close, but they're not like the way they portray them in anime. They never have been. But what's funny about harem leads, and again going back to our main topic, is that they are meant to be stupid. That is kind of their main goal and role in any anime when they're trying to be like that. The reason being is the concept of harems, a lot of them are based off visual novels where you have the multiple choice pathways. Now, I talked about this in another video, I can't remember exactly which video I talked about, so I do apologize, but one thing I said where the visual novel concept is very fun because of the fact that you could choose which character you want to get with it in the story. What that causes though in anime is that the creators don't really know where to go with the character. They want to make him so he's basically applicable to any one of the girls. He'll have maybe time where he's spent with most of them. He won't always be with every single one of them, but he'll most likely spend a decent amount of time on the girl that's known as the most popular of the girls. And either they do popularity polls in Japan, they do other things like that too to see who's going to be the top listing one. Is it going to be this girl? Is it going to be this one? And then they kind of center the story a little bit around her, or they center the story around that concept. But as people who play visual novels, or if you play a harem visual novel, you as the main character, because you're portrayed as the main character, are then left to your own device of choosing which girl you want. Do you want the tsundere? Do you want the kudere? Do you want the yandere? You get to choose that, and that is what makes the game so fun. Is that you get to go through their plots and kind of get to their ending and their kind of main role, and then end up getting with the girl you want. And harems, typically, people don't want to see all the time the one character get with one girl. And you might think, well, I do want to see that. I want him to see him hook up with a girl. But here's the thing, though. If you get 50 people in a room to talk about harem like Infinite Stratos, and you ask them, which girl do you want him to get with? You're going to have different answers. You're going to have the one who says the childhood friend. You're going to have the one that says with the girl that has blonde hair. You are going to have every single one choose a different one, or a few agree with each other. But in the end of the day, it's going to be vastly like where just the numbers don't add up. They're not going to be all for in favor of the childhood friend, or all in favor of the blonde girl, or all in favor of the other childhood friend. You're not going to have that. So what anime does with harems, and why people have a love and hate relationship with them, is they have it where the main character kind of plays a stupid role because he's not going to get with any one of the girls. Now, in a good harem, like High School DxD, or even a show that I recently watched, which I am trying for the life of me to think of the name, and I'm clearly pressing for freaking time while I try to think of the name. Trinity 7, there we go. I thought of it, right? Trinity 7 had it where the main character actually was, per se, with all the girls at the end, and it showed a possible future for him. High School DxD had it where the guy was with all the girls at the end, and he actually had his quote-unquote harem fantasy. That is the kind of, oh, here's the nice way of ending a series that's a harem base, because real life doesn't work like that. And in anime, it's sometimes funny, but it's also sometimes off-putting to a lot of people because it makes this kind of, wow, that was a cop-out of an ending. So with with random harems and with harems that like Infinite Stratos and most of the other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, but trust me, I've seen, it has to be where the main character is kind of, I want to say, in the gray zone with all the girl choices. He can choose any one of them, and you see in the course of a lot of the harems that he does choose one of the girls or he gets close to one of the girls, but it will always be kind of blocked by the other girls because they do not want to go the path of, oh, here's the ending that you're going to go, because no one is going to be happy with it. And what I mean by that is, okay, you will have people that are happy with the ending of him, like, for example, if he chose a childhood friend, you're going to have a lot of people happy. But in the end of the day, though, you're going to off-put a lot more people than you think you are, because there's going to be a lot of people going, oh, why didn't he get with the other girl? Shuffle is a prime example. Shuffle is liked by a lot of people, and I'm not going to spoil that ending per se, but he does choose one of the girls. Now, a lot of the characters were available in that series, and a lot of them he got close with. People on the forums of Shuffle or talk about Shuffle from the past will always get into debates with, oh, well, at least he chose a girl, but he didn't choose the girl I wanted him to choose. And people got pissed off at that. When harems do that, it makes people go, well, why didn't he get with the girl I wanted? This is bullcrap. I hate this. Now I'm not gonna. And it makes people hate that show. It makes people talk negatively about it because he didn't get with the girl that they wanted to go with. So I know it sounds crazy. I know it's like, oh, why would the main character be like this? Well, how could he do this? Listen, folks, there is a reason for it. Really, they want to keep him as ambiguous when it comes to the girls he chooses as possible. Now, Ichigo still is probably the dumbest main harem main character ever. Protagonist-wise, I think he's the dumbest protagonist in a long time I've seen. But it makes sense given that he has so many options for girls, and I just think that they really didn't want to kind of push it into one of those zones where it's like, okay, he chooses this girl, now all the other 5 are now left to their own device, and that's a big thing with anime shows like this, especially when shows have only one main protagonist that's a guy. Then it becomes even more of an issue because a lot of people will go pissed off that she won't hook up with anyone else. In some harem stories, and one of them I could think of is Nisekoi. Nisekoi has it where multiple girls like the main character, of course, in that, but his friend also has a girl that likes him, and there's other characters that will pair off in the story. That allows a little bit more flexibility in terms of how they do the story, and it makes for a better harem, but it also makes for one that is less off-putting to people. Overall, to end this topic today, it's not going to be where you're ever going to see a really harem done correctly unless you see stuff like Amagi SS as a harem, because even those shows are not, like Yosuga no Sora, which I would advise watching the first half of it, and then when you get to the creepy last couple episodes, like the last 3 episodes or 4 episodes, stop watching it, because that's a little creepy. But everything up to that point is pretty good. The actual show is really good up to that point. It's a very mature harem story, but it has where it does the re-arcing loop where it's like, oh, okay, so he gets with one girl, happy ending there, then he chooses another girl instead, where it's the whole story resets to that point of him choosing, essentially. I like harems like that more. I like the stories, I think, done better. But I also understand that they're less comedic in a lot of ways because of the choice of you actually getting with one of the girls, rather than having it where the main character is always swamped by all these girls and they're always fighting for them. That adds a little comedy factor that people don't, like, but also people do like it. You're never really gonna find that middle ground where people enjoy harems as much as you think you will, but maybe one day they will. Who knows? Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this anime talk. As always, please like, comment, subscribe. Helps me a lot. Check out my Tumblr. Not Tumblr. Check out my Twitter. I don't have a Tumblr. Check out my anime list. I have that too. And as always, talk to you all later. Bye-bye.